A band from the Valley originally, kind of spread out now. Probably the most well-known member is Doug Clapp, teacher at Fort Kent Community High School. I got to play it off my DVD player. How's everybody doing? Bit of an overcast day here. We have Barry Willett coming up at 7:30. He's a SAD 27 school board member. So he's going to talk about all things going on with COVID-19, graduation, reintegration plan. He also has a senior, Emily. So we're going to see how she's holding up. And we're going to talk a little bit of Valley Unified. Remember taking your questions, concerns, comments on Channel 4's Facebook platform. Would love to hear from you. If I can figure out how to find the live video on my phone, Facebook. Tuesday, we have Nicole Jondro joining us from No Nonsense. Got a chance to check out their show Friday evening. Great job they're doing over there. Or here, it is on the St. John Valley Live platform. Wednesday, we got a string of District 27 employees for the rest of the week. So Wednesday is going to be Doug Dorman, longtime economics, social studies teacher here at Fort Kent Community High School. He deals with mostly seniors. He has some juniors, I believe. And he's living over in Edmundston. So we're going to see how it's going there with his remote learning. Then a couple administrators to close the week. On Thursday, we're going to bring in the legendary Mr. Robbie Netto. He is the principal at Fort Kent Elementary School, former social studies teacher, history at the high school. And he's done a lot of other things as well. And then Friday, we will wrap up the week with none other than the Deuce, the Dean of Students for grades 7 through 12 at the district, Steve Doucette. We did get in some trouble last week with playing music that's not ours. So hence, it is Empty Head Monday. And we're going to be looking to play music locally that won't get us in trouble, and will promote local musicians. I think Nicole could help us with that a little bit on Tuesday, give her insight on some bands, some groups, some individuals, but we will try to line some people up on a regular basis. Let's click videos. Anybody know how to get to Facebook Live on their phone? Oh, there I am. Okay, looks like we have 3 people. Looks like my hair looks all right. I got to turn my volume down. I'm a little on delay. So anyway, that is the lineup for the week. And we'll keep cranking this out. If you're new here, out of the people watching or you're archiving this, this is Wake Up SJV. It's a morning show. At least, one interview a day from someone with some insight on what the heck's going on in this fine world. We'll cover some news, some sports, some weather, and just all things St. John Valley. So click it on in the morning. Click it on in the evening. Do what you got to do. Let's go now, without further ado, to the weather. And we're going to play a little more Empty Head while I try to do that. I got this old school remote here, DVD. If you guys know what that is. How's the volume on that? All right. Geez, we would hope so. Well, I do know, looking yesterday, that I believe there's going to be at least one bad day. Let's check it out. Empty Head used to play in this area at Wizards in Presque. They played over in Rumors, Costigans in Canada. Made their way down to Portland, where they played the old OPT, Old Port Tavern. Great stuff. Hopefully this doesn't get us in trouble. Doug's younger son, Brian, is the lead singer of that group. On drums, Mark Dugal, one of the best drummers I've seen. Now listen, I haven't seen a lot of drummers, but he's good. Okay, so here is what we're looking at. Today, 52, mostly sunny. Perfect day, folks, to get out and get going. We have a winter weather advisory. Thanks a lot tonight. As you see here, a chance of rain and snow, and then Thursday, rain, snow, likely chance. Great. But after that, once again, it was kind of like last week. Middle of the week looks nice, real nice. Wednesday, near in the 50s. Thursday, almost 60. Watch out. Get your sunscreen out, folks. We may need it. And then just a 40% chance of rain on Friday. Have friends who should see this video, share it with them so they can watch too. Okay, let's share. Oh, you can do a watch party. Anybody tried that? Has anybody tried it? No? I got to realize nobody's talking back. So I'll leave the weather there for a minute. You guys can check that out. You just can't scroll. The nights continue to be pretty cold, but not a problem. As the weather looks like it's turning here for us. Why can't I just share with everybody? Okay, let's bust that out. What's going on here with COVID lately? COVID-19, we're waiting to get some sort of, hopefully, direction from the state on what we can do as far as regionally reopening. You know, we're a little rural up here, and it's a little different case-wise as opposed to the rest of the state. I did read some stuff this morning that said they're going to reconsider what they're doing with parks. You know, maybe they'll open those up sooner than later. There have now been 1,436 confirmed cases, according to the Bangor Daily News. Of those, 1,312 have been confirmed negative. 124 are likely positive. That's from the main CDC. I believe around 2 o'clock daily, they are going to kick some stuff out to all of you and let you know what's going on. I want to thank last week's guests. Geez, we had a great week. Just cranking people in and out, and we got a lot of good intel on what was going on nationwide, St. John Valley wide. That was capped off by Chris Corbett out there in Austin, Texas. He got himself a haircut from his daughter, Ellie. That was pretty impressive. And Thursday, we had Susie Parody, town manager, Fort Kent. I'm just trying to retrace my thoughts here. But mainly what she was covering was, as town manager, what's going on in Fort Kent, how we're going to reopen stuff, businesses, small businesses specifically, getting that stuff back up and going. And I think we'll see more of that this week. I don't know what restaurant owners are going to do. You know, you reopen, it's not as easy as just open your doors and it's back to business as it used to be. There are regulations at the high school, for example. We've been told that, certain people, such as administrators, can go back and work 4 hours, but you got to come in and check your temperature, answer 3 basic questions to get in, and then go from there. The mask is key. Got to have a mask when you just can't practice social distancing, and social distancing is, you got it, 6 feet. So that's key. But anyway, Susie did get into a lot of that, and just to find out what we're going to do moving forward. And we talked about her son, who's a senior, how he's holding up. And then we saw him at Friday Night Warrior Lights. It was nice to see some seniors there. Talking to some others over the weekend, just trying to think what can they do for the prom? The prom is not going to happen like it used to. And so just looking for ideas for them, but I'm sure they've been thinking about it as a group. Graduation, as we'll get into with Barry Willett, will look a lot different. Looks like it will be June 12th, and it will be on the soccer field. They will not be in soccer uniform, the seniors. But we're trying to get a gauge on how that's going to play out. What if it rains? We need a rain date. We need all that good stuff. So we're going to get into that. Last Wednesday, we had Ryan Pelletier, of course, a Aroostook County administrator. He gave us a snapshot of how the state's dealing with us. So Ryan was in with some great info. A lot of these people, like Ryan and Barry today and Susie, and have kids, going through this remote learning too. So it's nice to get their thoughts and see how everybody's holding up. Last Tuesday, I want to give a shout out and a thank you to our guests who were Peter Saucier, Director of Transportation and overall safety guru. So we got into the lunch program a little bit and what he's doing on a daily basis to try and keep stuff rolling. Carl Terrio came in and talked about the Fort Kent Outdoor Center and getting outside and what's going on there. So I want to thank them. We did bring in, what day was that? We brought in Teacher of the Year, Leslie Marquis. I believe that was Thursday where she popped in, and certainly want to thank all the teachers. Last week was Teacher Appreciation Week. And so I want to thank them. And our first show ever, we of course had our producer here, Chaz Pelletier from Channel 4. We had Darren Woods, Aroostook County Director of Emergency Management. And we had Mr. John Coletta. So thank you to those guests last week and this week. We've got, as I said, a nice lineup. And we're always looking to bring people in randomly and go from there. So thank you, everybody, for being here, whether you're watching live or archived. We're going to play some more music here. We're at 7:16. Barry Willett is going to join us at 7:30. And while the music goes, we'll give you the headlines from the latest news from the Bangor Daily News here. Let me screen share this, my friends, and we'll talk through that a little bit. How about the next song? All this is great stuff. By myself. That's quite fitting here as I'm talking to myself on this show. Just going to refill my coffee here. You're going to be stuck with a nice background. Okay, so as you see here, not too we do have a morning update here on COVID-19. Click on that. I'm looking for ideas too, and not ideas so much as artists. So if you have local musical artists that we can feature here, we'd love to hear who you got in mind. I know Taylor Tiger Martin would be a good one. Staff Infection, the District 27 band. We'll try to get them maybe to give us some rights to their tunes, or even they'd be awesome if they could play. We're going to talk to the Deuce, Steve Doucette, on Friday to see if we can get him on board and get them playing. The Battle of the Bands was incredible this year. Be awesome too to maybe get the senior class band to play. I think we've covered all this COVID stuff. All the latest news. It is nice to see, if I can find it here, where it's hitting us statewide. They usually have a little map here for us. So give us, right here, give us some artists. Mr. Roy has been playing guitar, I think, on Facebook. Is that Rob Roy? Robert Roy, yeah. And French Toast, legendary French Toast, would be a good option. Wasn't there some band, Tennessee, Tennessee? I don't know what the heck they were. Okay, so we go statewide here. Active cases, there you see it. Throughout the county, we're up here, folks. 2 active, 4 recovered. So the bulk of it, more than 100, remains down in southern Maine. I couldn't tell you. World COVID Tracker, something that we certainly did not want to be leading in. Yeah, I'd like to see if where is the trend going down now finally statewide, or are we still going up? 2 o'clock usually is a good time to check that out with Dr. Shah, as they have their press conference usually at that time. We have Barry Willett will be joining us here in about 8 minutes, although he's looking to come in now. We could bring him in early. Tomorrow, once again, we'll have Nicole Jondro from No Nonsense. Also, would like to wish her and all the great ones out there, especially my 2 mothers, happy Mother's Day. Hopefully you had a great day yesterday, a great weekend, celebrating these amazing women. Nicole is one of them, as she has 2 children at home, so she's doing the remote teaching, remote working from home, and cranking out that show on Friday evening. So we'll get her perspective on that. Let's shoot. Maybe Barry knows some local artists. Mr. Barry Willett. Wednesday, Doug Dorman. Thursday, Mr. Robbie Netto. And then Friday, we'll cap it off with the Deuce. The Deuce is loose. Steve Doucette. Looking for local artists. You can keep cranking those out, like this one. A lot of cover music they played too was always awesome. But this is their 12-song CD, I believe. And just great stuff. I apologize. I forgot I just don't know off the top of my head the original guitarist in this group. But like I said, it was Doug Clapp on bass, Brian Clapp, lead singer, Mark Dugal on drums. And then they had a couple lead guitarists. One who I believe started with the band, left, and then they brought in another guy who I saw for the most part. It's Empty Head, though, spelled as you would think. And the best way to get their music is to talk to Doug Clapp. You can get your CDs. I'd like to find out how we can get it online. I saw 2 songs were online last week on YouTube. This has a kind of a Tool, the group Tool sound to it. We'll see if Barry wants to come in 5 minutes early. A little overcast today, as we said, but it should be a nice day here. Hopefully the clouds break a little bit. Gives us a chance to get stuff done outside, as the weather has been delightful, folks. A little windy yesterday, but all the same, the snow is melting. We got shocked a little bit Saturday morning. Looks like Barry is ready, so we will bring him in here, folks. Looks like Emily and not Barry. Good morning, Barry Willett. You are on Wake Up SJV live.
Are you using code words?
Thanks for joining us, my friend.
Thank you.
What the heck? Tell us why you're on crutches.
Oh, I had a tree that landed on my foot in November.
Ouch. A
Tenfold.
tree landed on your foot in November.
Yes.
Goodness gracious. Okay, so what's the prognosis? What's the diagnosis here?
Well, I get screws. The 6 screws that are in there, they're going to be taken out in early June, the 9th, right after graduation.
Okay. Now, knowing you put those screws in there yourself, or did you go to a doctor?
Yeah, it was a one of those new drills, you know. Hardwood.
Well, I was just saying here how it's getting nice outside and we're doing a lot of work around the house, but apparently you're going to have Emily do all that work outside as you're laid up here.
She's actually been very good. Yeah, she's my other foot. So I'm going to have to give her something. I'm not sure what it is yet.
Well, Barry, let's get into it here. The school board met last Wednesday. What's the latest news? I looked through the agenda a little bit this morning, and my probably biggest takeaway just on the outside looking in was that the last day of school for students will be June 5. But what's the latest news, and what can you tell us specifically about this reintegration plan?
Well, it's a pretty good question. You'd have to talk to Ben about that.
Okay.
But unless you'd be more specific with your question.
Well, no, as a teacher and employee, I did look through it. My understanding is employees, select employees are going to be going back, like myself as administrator, if I needed to or wanted to, I could go in for 4 hours a day. Essential kind of type workers are going to start being phased in. Every time we check in at the office, we gotta put a thermometer to our forehead and answer 3 questions, and that gets us in the building. So no, I was just curious how the meeting went, and what you guys discussed in those regards, and whatever else.
Well, the integration plan, it's something that Ben and people in Augusta have come up with a plan so that people would be safe. But if you happen not to want to go into the building after they take your temperature, just tell them you're out of breath, and they'll let you go home. Yeah.
Exactly. Now, Barry, did you guys get into any more Valley Unified discussion? Where are we at with Valley Unified?
We really didn't. We were going to discuss a meeting that the 3 board members were with the commissioner, and they were going to discuss how that went. But the audio and video weren't well enough for everybody to participate. So hopefully we get that squared away, and then we can do it at the next meeting.
I see. Okay.
And
Barry, how many years? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We were lacking the communications.
No problem.
Yeah.
Barry, how long have you been a member of the school board?
Oh, I can't tell you how long I've been. I know how long I'm going to be chairman, which is another 2 months. That's as long as I've been. I haven't been counting those, but I know.
Okay. So you are still the chair.
Yes.
So after 2 months, you'll kind of pass that on.
That's correct. And I have a year and a half left on my agreement on the being elected to the board.
Gotcha. So currently there are 7 board members. With the withdrawal of Eagle Lake, that kind of changed it, correct? As of July, I believe that was 2018. So now we have sub-districts, correct? So you're one of 4 members for the sub-districts 4, 5, 6, and 7.
Correct. So there are 6 board members.
Okay, 6. Gotcha. Perfect. So you're taking care of Fort Kent. Is that my understanding?
Well, we basically were elected from the Fort Kent unit, but the board represents everybody.
Okay, great. A lot of work obviously goes into that, and similar to a athletic director or coach, it's a thankless job, isn't it? You're behind the scenes, you're doing all kinds of research, and you're trying to keep everyone happy. So we certainly appreciate what you do, Barry, for the schools.
It's more.
I'm sorry.
It is more fun than work.
There you go.
Yeah.
If it's not, then that's probably when you want to get out.
It's very educational.
Perfect. Can you, Barry, do you know why we came to the conclusion of June 5 to be the last student day? Obviously we're in remote learning now. Is I assume that changed the last day of school. Is that correct?
There's been discussions for a couple weeks or 3 weeks now. On June 5, what it is basically, as the board, we figured, or basically it was recommended by the administrators, that the teaching staff needed some time to prepare for the future, because the learning is going to happen like this again, where you're going to have remote learning, and not everybody's on the same page. Not all educators enjoy this remote learning stuff. I don't think anybody does, but everybody needs to be trained to do it properly, so that all the kids and the teachers are engaged in the same pattern, and can't let anybody fall through the cracks. So basically, you have 8 days to bring all of the staff up to speed for the following year, if we have to do it again. And I don't think there'll be any more snow days.
No, that I know statewide that's been conversation is why would we need at this point snow days? The talk to, we were talking to Peter Saucier last week. We're not going to be able to put 70 kids on a bus, are we? So are we going to stagger classes next year? Are we going to, there's so many different models really worldwide. I was watching the news I think it was out of Germany last week, where they brought back students, but it was just 8th graders and seniors, as they were trying to get them, to graduate, So I don't know if you guys have even got into those discussions on who the heck are we going to bring back into the building? Can we bring them all back at once? Just so many things to consider, isn't there?
Where are you going to eat?
Yeah.
There's
exactly.
a lot of factors. We'll have to wait and see what takes place, and basically we'll be told. Yeah,
and obviously, like anything, safety will be the top concern, and I'm sure you're a big news guy, like a lot of us, and we're trying to figure out what's going on. But the fear now is we're through it, kind of, but are we going to get hit again in the fall, or how's this going to look during flu season? And so it's safe to say that everything will change for us.
We'll need to be prepared to do this again. So we need to set up and have the right tools to be able to do this, so that it works. And then nobody knows. The unknown. Yeah.
The unknown. Barry, your daughter Emily, who we saw there briefly, she ran away from us, but she's a senior. How has she adjusted to remote learning and the whole social distancing thing? I know she just missed her what would have been her last performance with Serious Movement, as that they were scheduled originally, as was my youngest daughter, to perform Mother's Day weekend, and obviously that got put on the back burner. But anyway, how is she holding up? How has she adjusted?
She doesn't mind some of it, but I'm sure she minds some of it. I mean, she's adjusted. She's a good student, so she's on her game. You don't have any options, so you need to adjust. So
yeah.
She's going to do fine. She's going to go. She's into the nursing program next year here. So at my household, it'll be 2 against 1 again.
There you go.
Yep.
A great program, the UMFK nursing program, and I'm sure she is going to do awesome there. So it's nice to hear that she's staying here locally. And your oldest son is at Husson, is that correct?
Right. Yes. Yep.
Okay. And how is he doing, Barry?
He just finished this year. He's gonna graduate next year at this time with his master's in business. Unknown what he's going to do. Of course, right now it's hard to look for work. I mean, there just aren't any jobs because a lot of people are unemployed.
Correct. Did you say he's going to graduate with a master's already? Man, time flies, huh?
Well, UMFK and the early college program helps, and then being a little aggressive while you're there.
That's amazing. So how many years did that take him, Barry, to get?
He'll finish it in 4 years.
Wow,
yeah.
That's a story for our current students.
Yeah.
So he was able to get a master's and a degree.
He will have his master's next spring.
Right, but in 4 years, that's impressive.
Yep.
So kudos to him. I don't think a lot of people realize how awesome this early college program is. We have students that, I remember last year, I think there was a young lady, I forget her name, but she graduated high school and she was almost a sophomore in college already. So the credits they're able to get, what a great partnership behind the leadership of Scott Vizin and so many others. Over there, what are they calling it now? Rural U, but that's impressive.
Yep.
That's awesome. Hey, listen, what's graduation going to look like? Did you guys get into that? I heard soccer field graduation. I think they're still trying to work on everything else. Is that correct?
That's what I'm hearing. That's where it looks, and basically the decision was made by the seniors.
Yeah, I know. I got a survey as an employee and kind of what we preferred, but so June 12th on the soccer pitch. I'm just trying to think. I mean, how many times it'll be a little refreshing because we're usually packed into the gym, sitting on top of each other. So at least there we can spread out a little bit but we do have the Deuce, Steve Doucette, the Dean of Students, coming in Friday. So maybe he can give us some more intel on that, but that'll be interesting. I was talking to some other seniors, and I don't know if Emily has had this conversation with your family, but they're missing out on so many things. Like I was trying to rack my brain on how we could do some sort of prom. Prom is always huge for seniors, and it sounds like it's just not possible. I did hear over in Madawaska that they're going to do something, I guess, not connected to the school. They're going to do some sort of prom, but at that point, I guess it's just a party.
Who knows? Yes, it will be on the date of a regular graduation date. The Saturday, the 13th, is the alternate date. The way this class, being the 2020 class, born 9/11 pandemic thing, graduation year, there's a real good chance we're going to have a heck of a storm on the 12th.
Yeah, you're right. Probably be a probably be a major thunder shower or something. You're right.
We've got plenty of time to prepare, and it's just to get it done. Get it done, and it's their way. That's going to be the key.
Yep, that's all we can do, but there's one thing I've learned living up here over 20 years now is how we're able as a community to rally together and get through things, and we've certainly shown that as we continue to battle. Do you have any gauge on how small businesses are doing, Barry? How our restaurants going to try to reopen? I know there's a lot of takeout. The state now has kind of given some parameters on starting to reopen. Do do you have any gauge on small businesses in this area and what they're doing?
Well, everything was gauged or planned on being efficient.
Sounds like it's not
and being
possible.
adult.
I did hear over. Sorry about that. Hold on. Probably be. I'm trying to get my. Probably be a major thunder. I'm messing you up now. You're right.
You don't get to keep on.
Go ahead, Barry. Sorry about that.
Okay, I think small businesses, restaurants, and those businesses are designed to be at least 70 or 80% full to make money. And if you're only going to be 25% capacity or less than 25% or 50% capacity, you're going to suffer, and it'll get you by maybe, but I don't think it's going to be anything where you can turn a profit or have the staff that you need. I think it's not designed. Nothing was designed for this. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. All I know is that the cost of everything is going to go up in the future. No doubt about it. I mean, cost of education, we're going to have to pay for this one way or the other. We're not sure how we're going to pay for it yet, but we need to start planning for it.
Yeah, it's quite a thing. I mean, everything is just unknown, as you said. And, I know like Walkers and Rocks and some places have been doing takeout. I've not heard anything about Swamp Buck. I don't know if they just totally shut her down, or I know that's owned by 10 plus not owned, but I guess there's 10 plus people that kind of have a stake in that restaurant. So, but you're right. The concern is once you reopen, can you afford to pay your staff, and are they going to be safe? And so just so much up in the air.
It's like a soccer team without any subs and no goalie. How's that?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, we're going to let you go here momentarily. Barry, do you have any gauge on schools? Are we going to start on schedule in the fall? Are we going to, I've heard maybe skip harvest and start after Labor Day. Have you guys got into any of that? Or are you just trying to get through this year?
We're going to get through this year, and we'll have to see what it takes. The community is going to have a say in how this all works as well. So it's not just the board, it's not just the staff, it's the whole community is going to have a say on how this is going to work. But all I know is that we're supposed to have 182 days of school a year. That's been cut back this year, first time ever. So we're finding out that adjustments can be made if they need to be made. So maybe that's what's going to happen. We'll be allowed to make adjustments as needed.
Well, yeah, and certainly when safety of everybody is your top concern, then it makes sense. So I am a member of a current committee, just met last week for the first time. As you may know, it's the health, wellness, safety type committee. So it's phys ed teachers, nurses. Peter Karen is leading that up. So we're going to get into all that stuff as well and try to figure out how to do this. So so that's where we're at. The straw poll went out on Valley Unified, and is that just kind of on the back burner down in Augusta? We haven't heard much on approval either way. Are we just waiting now, Barry, as far as that?
It is on hold.
Gotcha.
Nothing moving forward until further notice.
Okay, perfect. Well, that is where we're at, my friend. I want to thank you for joining us. Hey, listen, don't use your drill, please, to take those screws out. Just be patient. If you need any work done, don't call me, but put Emily to work. She needs, she's not doing track, so we got to keep her fit over there and active. So you got plenty of stuff to do around the house. And once she finishes all that, then send her to the school, and we'll get her to work over there. Okay. Thank
you very much.
Thanks for joining us, Barry. Take care of yourself, my friend.
Yeah. Have a good day.
Okay. That was Barry Willett, SAD 27 school board member. Awesome to hear from him. Looks like he's still live, but he will be shutting her down here. Last time I tried to, there he goes. Last time I tried to end the call, I ended the show. Well, that was great info. Hopefully, we're just wait and see. It's frustrating in some respects, but it's what we need to do. Coming up tomorrow on the show is Nicole Jondro, who is the host of No Nonsense. That's on Friday evenings here on stjohnvalley.live, and also a remote learning facilitator for 2 young children. So we'll get her perspective on everything going on there. Wednesday, we're bringing in a high school teacher here in Fort Kent, Doug Dorman. And then Thursday, Friday, we've got some administrators, but administrators with personality, unlike myself. Thursday, Robbie Netto, the principal at elementary school here in Fort Kent. And then Friday, we'll cap the week off with the Dean of Students, Steve Doucette. He is the Dean of Students for grades 7 through 12 at Community High School. And it's been great here. I'm going to play some more Empty Head as we close out the show, if I can. And we're looking for artists to continue going here, and working with Chaz on this. It's a good one. It's one of my favorites off this album. Yeah, so give us some ideas on music, local artists, and we'll crank it out here as we continue to promote them. I want to thank our guest, Barry Willett, for joining us this morning. I want to thank all of you for popping in, and we're going to see you tomorrow here on Wake Up SJV. Have a great day, folks. Empty